What are we doing, Doug?
Today we are looking at audiophile TikToks. TikTok, it's a platform, you may have heard of it before. People post short-form video, and apparently the kids are into audio.
But are they wrong?
I think that's what we're here to find out. We haven't seen any of these videos before. They were curated by Griffin, listener, who writes a lot of our articles, and I think we should just dive right in and see what these are all about.
I am curious and nervous.
You and me both, bud. All right, here's the first one.
You are looking at one of the most expensive copper cables.
Oh,
its
no.
cost is over 300,000 rubles, and it's no joke. Several meters of such wire can confidently be replaced with a decent Solaris. What's so special about it, you ask? The uniqueness of the complexity of production and technology is insane. German engineers search for the best copper ore in mines worldwide. Deliver it to a precision plant in northern Germany.
That's not how that works.
Boilers, extract the purest material, and stretch it through several stages to the desired size. Dozens of complex manipulations, and as a result, 16 high-speed crosslink waveguides with air insulation are obtained. Only two materials, copper and polyethylene with low inductance.
Cable.
The signal from the amp to the speakers is clean, like a stream. Do you think he's worth it?
That's how conductors work. God, where to even begin with this? Having a waveguide in a cable is an interesting thing. German engineers searching mines. Are they going into the mines themselves?
Yeah, the German engineers are going into the mines to find the really good copper.
Mines.
I want to bash my head in with a tower speaker.
No, you need to bash your head in with 99.9999% pure copper.
I'll get a better effect.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that neither of us are cable believers. And the point that I usually go back to when talking about cables is the James Randi Foundation, which, by the way, if you haven't seen the documentary An Honest Liar, go watch that. It's brilliant. James Randi, who was a magician that made a career out of debunking psychics and other people like that, had a $1 million open prize for anyone who was able to demonstrate supernatural abilities in a controlled environment. That being things like telekinesis, being a medium, and hearing differences between speaker cables. And no one was ever able to claim it. So that's kind of what I go back to on that. There was one company which originally said that they wanted to with their cables, and then when he said, okay, but we need to check the cable afterwards to make sure that there was no cheating involved, they pulled out. So
yeah, it's like putting car seat covers over the seats in your Civic to make it go faster, or like bumper stickers to give it more horsepower.
I've got some expensive cables, but it's just because they look nice. And I don't think there's on a car, putting nice alloys on your car doesn't necessarily make it go faster, nor does go faster stripes, but it might make you smile a bit more when you get in it, and that's totally fine. Aesthetics are a great reason to buy cables, or comfort. But in terms of signal purity and all this kind of stuff, I mean, the cables that are wiring up the insides of your speakers and your amplifier and everything else in between are not going to be the same, and even if they were, there is no evidence at all that any of this stuff makes a difference. No one has ever been able to pass a blind test. No one has ever been able to show anything objectively other than at gigahertz frequencies, which are not coming out of your amplifier. So yeah,
so go into the mines.
Go into the mines and make your own cable. Yeah, don't waste money on expensive cables. That's where I'd leave that.
These headphones cost $250, but the manufacturers suggest you play this sound in them for 200 hours before you even start listening to them. So why? This is a process called burn-in, and audiophiles swear by it. Supposedly the constant sound loosens up the internal components of the headphones, making the audio quality better. It's sort of like breaking in a new pair of sneakers just over 200 hours.
Okay, so I published a video on this a while back. The variation of just placing the driver into a sealed container was greater than I would get from any sort of variation from burn-in. So I'm gonna call BS on that. To say all audiophiles swear by it is not true. Definitely some do.
I have a little bit of I don't know if it's a hot take, but a different take on burn-in, which is that if you're worried about it, just do it. It costs you nothing. I get a little annoyed about the fuses and cables and this kind of stuff because it's people wasting their money on things. Whereas with burn-in, it's I don't know, man, just do it. Run your headphones playing pink noise for a couple of days, and at the worst case, nothing has changed, and best case, maybe it does. It's just time. The problem is when companies say like, oh, well, you shouldn't return our headphone until after the return window because we suggest that you burn them in for longer than the return window is, which is also a good reason why you should buy stuff from headphones.com because they have a 365-day return policy, so you don't have that problem, and you can burn things in for 6 months if you want. But yeah, for me, it's a case of I don't think it makes a difference, but at the same time, just do it. There's no harm or cost in it, so why not?
With a headphones.com headphone, you could buy it and then burn it in for 364 days.
You could burn it in until Christmas and then decide to send it back.
What do we have next?
If anyone in the headphone hobby or any audiophile tells you that you have to spend thousands of dollars to get good audio, they're full of shit.
Oh, I like this guy already.
Yeah.
They cost $20 and they sound better than shit that costs $100. Don't get swindled by bullshit people.
Yeah,
blessed be thy cost. And in fact, speaking of cables and stuff, I'm just going to get something real quick.
That was a truly based cost KSC 75 enjoyer take. And he's right. They're better than a lot of things that cost more money.
So the cost KPH30Is, which is similar to the KSC 75, which this guy's showing here. Absolute insane value for money. When he's selling it, you don't need to spend thousands on a headphone. That's absolutely right. But obviously, if you do want it to sound better, you're going to need a good cable. It's a little hard when it's not detachable, but that's not a problem because you can just solder your own ridiculous one on for the memes.
How much more worth the headphone is that cable?
Oh, I don't know. My friend Sebastian Skedra from Viking Weave Cables did this for me as a bit of a joke. The cable does weigh a couple times more than the headphone itself, though. So don't do this. But do. But don't. But do. Koss makes great stuff. I like Koss. There's a positional variation to the moon and back, but they sound good.
Stop wearing your AirPods. It truly is like wearing a mini microwave centimeters from your brain. And everyone should know that putting a microwave on your head is a horrible idea. Yes, the same frequency in this AirPod is the same frequency in a microwave, specifically because it's a bioactive frequency, 2.4 gigahertz. It's the most efficient and effective frequency to heat up your food. So when you have these mini microwaves in your head, it can have the same effect on your brain, tissues, and organs. Watch this. These AirPods are not connected to a device, but as soon as you open this cap, that dangerous frequency spikes. It's the same thing that's going to happen.
What is the... I couldn't see what the actual unit that's being measured there is.
It's not like a microwave. BS. I seen this thing spike at 1,000 microwatts per meter squared. That means it can, in the literature, heat biological tissue. Armed with that knowledge, it's now up to you whether you want to use these mini microwaves and if it's worth the risk, especially now with research coming out showing strong correlations with brain tumors, brain fog, ADHD, and Alzheimer's, and other neurodegenerative conditions. So if I owned AirPods, not only would I be livid and sharing this video with everyone, I'd throw them out and switch them out for a pair of wired headphones or ones with air tubes.
With air tubes, Jesus Christ, he's going a step further.
This guy's a f***ing idiot. Also, this guy was clearly microwaved as a child.
I mean, okay, guaranteed he's got a phone in his pocket and he's connected to Wi-Fi, which is also 2.4 gigahertz, by the way.
Yeah. And way stronger. Your Wi-Fi signal is like many times strong. Your Wi-Fi signal is actually watts, not milliwatts.
Wi-Fi can be watts. These tiny little true wireless earbuds are gonna, but just by the necessity of the fact that they need to have battery life that isn't measured in seconds, it's milliwatts at most. Meaning even if it was a 100% heat transfer, 100% efficient heat transfer to your brain or whatever, it's a fraction of a watt of heat at most. A microwave is up to about 1,000 watts. It's a very different thing.
Yeah. You know what emits a lot more radiation than that and is actually dangerous to your health?
Flying.
The sun.
And the sun. Yeah. I mean, taking a single flight gives you more like X-ray radiation, I think.
Yeah, it's more radiation than like a year's worth of chest X-rays, basically.
Yeah. But yeah, don't worry about wearing true wireless earbuds. It is fine.
All right, next.
This is Windows Movie Maker.
Oh no.
I thought that was cheese for a second.
Not the used socks.
He's just going to turn the camera around and it's just Pud. These socks. I can see where this is going and I hate it, but I'm also kind of curious.
Okay, I'm turning down the sound because it's the loudest sound imaginable.
It's really loud. You should just put some socks over your headphones.
Jesus Christ.
This
I mean,
is like-
it works.
Didn't Pod make a headphone with the Scrub Daddy sponge? It's like a budget version of that. But I am also kind of
reversed.
curious. I am curious if you want a little bit of homework. Can you replicate
no.
this with a headphone and measure what the result is?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it with a new pair of socks. I don't want to use like my used running socks. To
That
make
would be
headphone
wise. I
pads
would,
out of,
yeah. I approve of that decision, but I am curious.
I will do it with a pair of socks on some Grados or something.
What's up, y'all? I just got these amazing wireless headphones from Status Audio. They're
Oh,
so
God.
sick. They're amazing. They're the only true wireless Bluetooth driver headphones on the market. There's a single driver for bass.
What? What?
Let's go back. Did you say
Sorry.
the only Bluetooth driver
say it again?
headphones on the market?
Amazing. They're the only true wireless Bluetooth driver headphones on the market.
Damn, let's just forget about every single other Bluetooth headphone on the planet that is also that.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say. Like AirPods, Galaxy, Beans, anything. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah.
Continue.
A single driver for bass, a single driver for mids, and a single driver for treble. What that means is the bass hits super good. Yo, this results in far wider, far cleaner, and way more powerful of every range of human hearing. So
It doesn't.
it's crazy. Actually,
It
the
doesn't do
power
that.
goes beyond human
Yeah, it
hearing.
doesn't do any of
I
that.
love it.
I'm just
So
not trying to do that.
is amazing.
It's
Like,
the movements.
R&B music, hip hop, pop music, like the sound is so crisp, so clear. Go cop some wireless headphones from Status Pro. Link in my bio, you guys.
Well, that's just an affiliate farm.
Probably, yeah.
That's an affiliate farm and misunderstood marketing points. Sony.
Really, I do not like these headphones. They don't fit properly. They really don't cancel out much noise. And they only connect to 2 devices via Bluetooth at a time. And they also fall off of my head whenever I'm like bending over or running or moving too quickly.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree with her. Hot take, I do not like anything wireless that Sony makes.
I have not really spent too much time with them, but one thing I would say is that if you are having trouble with noise-cancelling headphones not cancelling out noise so well, one of the things is that they do often rely on a good seal. And I did notice in the video that her hair is kind of going over her ears a bit, like it's underneath the pads, and so she's not getting a good seal. That can be tricky if you've got longer hair, but that is something to bear in mind, is that if you can't get a good seal, you kind of need to try and sort that, or else your ANC is just not going to be great.
That's a good tip. Oh, what is this? This says stop wearing HD600s.
Stop wearing the HD600 series.
Audiophile edition. Please stop using or recommending the Sennheiser 600 series for gaming. The
For
Sennheiser
gaming.
600 series is made for
That's
music.
sacrilege.
And the reason why I say that is it has a really
it's made for
close
music, it
sound
can't be good for
stage,
gaming.
So the singer feels really like close up to you.
I have
And
comments
also,
on
it
this.
isn't really known for its imaging or resolution, so you won't be able to tell where your enemies
games
are,
known for their
where the
resolution?
footsteps or gunfire is coming from either. Instead, I'd recommend the Philips SHP 9500 for $60.
No.
Oh, okay.
Get some
We-
help.
If he'd at least had a good recommendation, then we could have.
The 560S
Had-
is
If
decent.
you want to get even
560S
more
is decent,
serious,
yeah.
then get the Hi-Fi Men Sandara or Edition XS, which will have superior sound staging and imaging to any of the Sennheiser 600 line.
I
All right,
only
so-
play Titanfall because it has 50 gigabytes of uncompressed audio.
Yeah. Well, okay, so fun thing. I don't remember. There was a video a good while back that me and Chrono did. This was like over a year ago.
Yes.
Yeah, and we blind tested a bunch of headphones, literally put on blindfolds, and played video games. And the headphone that consistently performed really well for just
Was it the
trying to
HD600?
blindfold, aim around, and hit targets, yeah, it was a 600.
Wow.
We could pick out where people were blindfolded and shoot them and hit them. So it was easier with that than it was with the Edition XS.
I think, I mean, yeah, generally for gaming and any kind of like, well, spatial audio type stuff, you are going to want to have a headphone which has a more HRTFE response, which the HD600 does. The one point that I would say is fair to kind of bash the HD600 for games and movies is that it's not a bassy headphone, and so the kind of immersion factor can be hurt a bit, but in terms of like gaming performance, it's not quite, well, going from the HD600 to a Philips is gonna be a downgrade, I would say.
It's going to be a very massive downgrade.
Yes.
If you use a headset on your PC, I highly recommend doing this right now. Right-click the audio icon in the bottom right corner of your screen and select Sound Settings. Next, find your headset and click on it. Under Output Settings, click on the drop-down and set the audio quality to the highest bit rate at 98,000 Hz. Your headset will sound so much better after this tweak.
You're not going to hear a difference.
No. Okay, so a couple things. One, There can be some benefits to making sure that that is set correctly. You generally, if you're listening to music, want to set it to 44.1 kilohertz because basically all music and everything on Spotify and whatnot is 44.1 kilohertz. And so to avoid Windows doing extra resampling, set it to 44.1. Most YouTube, movies, games, voice applications like Discord and stuff use 48 kilohertz. So you might want to set it to that. In terms of the bit depth, there's no harm in setting it too high, but nothing exceeds 24-bit resolution in the real world anyway. So 32-bit is mostly used in the sort of production stage because then you can do digital stuff without losing actual dynamic range. But for the final output, they'll output to 16 or 24-bit because 32-bit does not matter in the real world.
It does not. Also, you notice he said set it to the highest bit rate and then didn't set it to the highest bit rate.
I think he meant like a bit depth, and he
Yeah.
said highest bit depth or bit rate at 48 kilohertz, which that's not bad advice, it's just not good advice.
You upgrading your headphones? I'm a full-time tech reviewer, and here are my top 5 picks. Got a premium budget? My pick would be the Bowers & Wilkins PX8. They offer award-winning sound performance, a premium build quality, plenty of smart features, and if Bowers are good enough for Bex, then they're good enough for me. Next, the Sonos Aces are my go-to. Offering
If they're good enough for the guy we paid $7 million to wear them, then they must be good enough for me too.
Yeah. And they're also extremely comfortable. The best headphones under £100, the Sony WH-CH720Ns. They offer up to 50 hours of battery life, noise cancellation functionality, and a built-in mic for calls. And not a What Hi-Fi 2024 award winner for me. Feeling sporty? The Shox Open Swim Pro is my #1 choice for sports. Running, hiking, cycling, swimming, you name it. Thanks to the bone conduction technology, you can enjoy your favourite playlist while staying fully aware of your surroundings. The Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless 4s are my choice of in-ear headphones this year. 30 hours of playback, adaptive noise cancellation, exceptional sound quality, and they're packed with the latest tech like sound personalization, Bluetooth 5.4, Auracast, and LE audio, so you know that they're future-proof.
You know what this is? This is a perfect example of how tech reviewers will say literally anything is good as long as they get their hands on it.
I was gonna, well, that or that he's got affiliate links to every single one of them in his bio, probably.
Yeah. Ugh, I wish people had standards. You know how much more awesome this would be, just YouTube as a whole, if creators had standards?
On one hand, it's like, you don't want to necessarily say like the tech reviewers are doing something nefarious because a lot of the time they genuinely don't know, but at the same time, if you've only tried a handful of things that people have sent you, then don't just say like, well, this is my top 5 and it's the 5 things that I've been sent.
Yep.
I think the point for me that stands out most is when you just regurgitate a marketing point like, oh, well, if it's good enough for Bex, it's good enough for me. It's like, he's not doing it because he loves the headphones. He's done it because they handed him a fat wad of cash.
Yep, or just listing off the Bluetooth specs as if that's going to make a difference.
Getting a What Hi-Fi reward is not necessarily a great indicator either. But hey.
Yeah, it doesn't really mean anything. You're better off getting if you're getting a Bluetooth headphone, you're way better off getting one with a good frequency response and a lossy codec than a lossless codec and a garbage frequency response.
Yes, very much so. And also just on the note of sort of like product reviewers and stuff generally, one piece of advice I would give is, it doesn't matter what you're buying. If you're buying a camera, don't look at what a TechTuber general, TechTuber says about it. Go and find someone like, Gerald Undone or whatever, who's just does camera stuff. If you're wanting to buy a headphone, find someone who just does headphone stuff. If you're wanting to buy...
Find someone who does objective testing.
Yes. Like, Gerald Undone does some fantastic objective testing of camera stuff.
If there isn't some sort of a measurement, or if there isn't data, then what you're saying is all essentially just a 100% subjective opinion of some random guy, and you don't know their qualifications.
Yeah, find someone who specializes in the thing that you're looking at buying, and ideally has some kind of actual consistent testing methodology as well.
Oh, I've seen this. These actually look really cool. They probably sound terrible, but like...
There's a guy I followed for a while which did a really interesting like desktop ferrofluid thing, and it was quite fascinating talking about, well, it ended up being like nearly $1,000, and he details the whole thing of creating it and why it needs to be so expensive and why it's cheap stuff with those ferrofluid visualizers will basically fail in a very short period. Like getting ferrofluid that lasts a long time is really hard. Check out Burn Slap. He's got some cool stuff. Do you feel like you've got more or less brain cells than when we started?
Less.
Yeah, I think so. Hopefully...
But it was good entertainment value. What is our opinion on Audiophile TikTok? I feel like a lot of those were bad, but there was like 1 or 2 where it's like, hey, that's you're right. That's not technically wrong.
Yeah, there's a few good tidbits in there, and I mean, some of the time it's easy to forget that we're on the nerdier side of this, and normal people don't necessarily want to, go into the really nerdy reasons why they might need to do something or should do something. So just sort of, giving it in a more digestible format's nice. But then there's also some just terrible, terrible, terrible stuff.
Well, that was fun. Let me know if you guys want me to do this again, because I actually kind of enjoyed that. Maybe there's some more interesting things out there to react to. If you like this video, leave a like down below. Comment, letting us know what you want to see in the future. If you want to get active in the community, you can have the Discord or the forum, both available at the link in the video description. As always, don't forget to stick around and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. Till next one, guys. Peace.